Hello there, I'm Christy, and this is Let's Wrap This Up. Today we're going to be tying a tucked luck with 2 scarves, and it has an additional feature in that it has pleats. So for today's ingredients on the 2 scarf tucked luck, we're going to be using 2 scarves, a shaper, and a pin. The first scarf is a Wrapunzel Olive Green Constellation scarf, and yes, those are metallic, shiny splotches on there. It is hemmed on all 4 sides. It is rectangular. And then we will be using a pea green Gelante pashmina, and a pashmina is specifically a scarf that has 70%, it is 70% pashmina, which is an undercoat hair, and then 30% silk, and they will have a pashmina label in them. Some you can take off because the adhesive is not very strong. This one is quite strong, and so I'm going to leave it alone. Underneath, we will be using a half-stuffed Cloud9 shaper from Wrapunzel. We'll be using it in a standard configuration. And then we will also be using as our accessory a nice pretty rhinestoned frog. As you can see, I have my half-stuffed Cloud9 shaper already on my head, and we're going to get started. This is a little bit of a twofer today because we're going to be doing pleats as well as doing a tucked beginner's luck. So we're going to start with our base layer, which is actually going to be the Olive Constellation scarf from Wrapunzel. I have it folded in half along the long edge so that I only have a half wide scarf, and I have gotten the midway point from end to end, and that's here. And I will be taking and moving it slightly off center. I want a longer tail over here, but not much. So this is the center line. I'm just going to move it here, and I'm going to put that on and start my wrap. So here we go. We have this, and I'm going to tie my knot in the back. And for me, half folded actually does pretty much cover, and it is, the second layer is going to actually fully cover this, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, I do have, this side is shorter and this side is longer. I want the longer side, and it's going to be kept down. The first wrap we're going to do is actually hide this. So we're going to fold it in a little bit, and then we're going to take and wrap that, because this is not going to be any part of our upcoming wrap. I'm going to take this in here and bring it in and tuck it down into that knot area there. And if I tuck it down behind the knot, it will just stay. So now our next step is to take our pashmina. This is the pea green Gelante, and I do have it opened up. This is the midpoint lengthwise, and I am going to take this back and over to the nape of my neck and then fold under what I want. Now this time it's going to be folded in a little bit more because I don't actually want it right at my shaper line. So now I take that and shake it out a little bit, and it is going to be right at about the halfway line. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it, and I will tie it above that knot. When I tie knots, I typically tend to do the above. It just gives me less bulk here so I can look up. Personal preference, some people do them underneath. Okay, now I'm going to be taking this one and I'm going to be pleating it. So I'm going to actually take this and fold it in half because I don't want to be working with all of the bulk. I may fold that little bit in, but I'm not going to be pleating until I get over to this side. So I'm going to come up and over, and what is going to happen is these pleats are going to show. So I'm going to take and just start here. I'm not going to do big full pleats. These pleats are just going to be showing here, because once I have this done, then these, if you can see the pleats there, we're looking at those pleats. These pleats here, and you can see that pashmina label. These pleats are going to come in, and we're going to take this under this leg of the pashmina, and I'm going to take and tuck it in underneath this knot. Tuck it up in there. I want to get all of that in there. I like my wraps when I'm wrapping like this to have all of the ends tucked in. So there, those should all be tucked in. And now my next, the next thing to do, let me pull that, see if I can get that little wibble out. All right, and we're going to take this. Now this is actually, so it's still folded in half. We're going to make some pretty pleats along here, and these pleats are going to kind of come up and come across. So they're going to actually expose these. So we're going to bring this up and over, and always hold the pleats on the, with whatever hand is on the opposite side of where I'm wanting my pleats to end. So now, take this, I want this over here. So now I'm holding this. I'm going to use the thumb and my fingers. My thumb is underneath here. And we're going to actually bring forward a fold of fabric and make these pleats. And the Constellation scarf actually has, it pleats really well. It is a lightweight, cottony type, summer type fabric, but it holds these pleats, and honestly, I think it shows them pretty well too. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do another pleat, and I don't want to pull on this. That's why I'm using my thumb, and I put my finger in to hold it. I push down on my head, and I use my thumb to push the fabric forward. And that tends to get me a pleat that doesn't pull or slide. So now I'm going to use my fingers to hold that fabric up against my head, and then put that fold of fabric over them and bring it over. Now I don't have a whole lot here, so this one I might just fold underneath in the back and just kind of roll it under there. So now I've got these, and that didn't fold very well. Now it's looking better. All right, now I'm taking this, and we're going to start with the beginner's luck. This knot is going to come up and around, and you're going to put your fingers through that hole and grab it. Now, we're not done. This is where it gets interesting. So this is coming in, and I am taking this and moving it around in front and tucking it back in through there. Now, it does look a little strange right now. I'm taking this end, and I'm going to take my finger and find that pocket underneath this wrap here, and I'm going to tuck all of that end of that one in right there. Now, this is not how it ends, because you can still see this. What we're going to do, we're going to take that in. This is why it's called tucked. I am tucking that portion in, and I'm using the tie that I have here to cover up what I had. So there we go. It's getting covered up, and we have that wonderful little tuck look, and you cannot see the end of that. Now I'm going to take the frog that I have, and my frog pen is going to go up and over here, and it's going, I think he's going to, let's see where we want to put him. Do we want him down here or farther up? I think I want him a little farther up, and I think I want him kind of that way. Now you have to pay attention to which way your pin in the back goes. This, when I put him in this way, the pin is actually going to be vertical and it's going to be coming down. So I am going to be pinning from the top to the bottom, which is not a standard pin for me. So I am going to get him in there, and he is not going to be holding on to much fabric. But there he is. He looks like he's sitting on my head. And that's it. Thank you for wrapping with me today, and I'll see you next time on Let's Wrap This Up.